Right, Chelsea Forum have unveiled a plan B towards next season and even bringing in certain players. In terms of the players that are going to come in, Chelsea have unveiled a plan B, and it looks as if they want to give Abrantia, your friend of Moises Caicedo, what he deserves as the contract at Chelsea Football Club. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel and subscribe and turn on notification. In the notification channel, just choose all. So that anytime there's content here, you are first to have it. As you can see, we are doing something interesting in the background. Very soon, we'll bring you the final conversation of what we are doing behind us on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It's all to make sure we'll give you the best in terms of delivery on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. We're interested with the relationship that we have with you. So subscribe to the channel and subscribe, turn on notification. In the notification channel, do choose us just so anytime that there is content here, you are first to have it on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. You better come on in area amount. Where do we start for? Let me say a big thank you to the two people who have made this show a possibility. First off, the first company, Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. In terms of getting the best spare parts party, Yesumo, and I'll be so kind of more in Accra. Call them on 0593138221. He'll take care of you in terms of delivery. So in Accra, of course, MOB Clothing the entire year. If it's anything about clothes, then MOB Clothing will take care of you. Call them on 0200 020-608-778. Charlie, this number every day will be number escaping me order. But of course, I'll make sure that I drop it in there. If you need Gerald and Mamia, they'll take very good care of you. Chelsea following in the last few hours, I've said they have a plan B. I think that there are two things that have worried Chelsea since the season started. It is the lack of a centre forward, especially after the injury of a brand friend in Liam Delap, and also the lack of a centre back over there. And Chelsea have two players that one shiny here in the coming months. That is going to be the plan B. Chelsea Enzo Maresca has mentioned that going away to go and play in the game against team your friend of Southampton at Brentford. They realized that game was difficult. And so Enzo Maresca say, "Sir Ubo Abrantia, your friend Joao Pedro, in the area of a second striker, he is perfect. But Sir Ubono as the main striker, for you to have another number 10 behind him, he is not the best in terms of occupying centre backs. He is not the best in that regard. And one of the things that you have to do is to make sure you need to find the main number 9, and then in and around him, you get another striker who's going to be behind him, which is going to be a branch friend Joao Pedro. And when you signing Strasbourg for player friend Emmanuel Emega. Now, in Strasbourg today, what we've heard, and they said Strasbourg fans say so Mobofu, said Chelsea for assign a branch friend Emmanuel Emega on a pre-contract basis. Catch Emmanuel Emega said, unpacking the bags and baggages, no free on club one monko and Concoboma Chelsea, because on second fiddle to any club. Not even the biggest club of France. Only second fiddle to any club. It's Emmanuel Emega pa. Emmanuel Emega, the captain of Strasbourg, almost on Chelsea this year. They are not willing to have him there in the long term. On free, non different, Uncle Chelsea, and then non packing in your man free. Of course, other players of Strasbourg have spoken about it. Then in centre back, what we hear, and they say Chelsea for at centre back. One thing here in January, they are going to bring in a brand here, your friend Mamadou Sarr. Now that is the Strasbourg centre backer. For the Club World Cup. Now he came to acclimatize with the team and then went back to Strasbourg. Chelsea have a future for him. In fact, if you've seen our brand friend Mamadou Sarr, he is an excellent and epitome player of a CCB. Calm on the ball, physical in his draws, hard on the ones as well. And he makes sure say, hey, ding, him out. So we need any ball from our brand friend Mamadou Sarr. Strasbourg for to say, Chelsea for to say, in January, if the injury issues begin to worry, especially at centre back, and then Abrantia, your friend Tosin Adarabia, if he's not able to do better in that regard, they'll bring in Abrantia friend Mamadou Sarr to come into the team to come and deliver. Almost somebody Mamadou Sarr, and Mamadou is going to get a job done. Or be deliver, come on for them, and they'll bring in Abrantia friend Mamadou Sarr. So these are the two main things. But Chelsea Forum have also mentioned, say, Champions League neighbor, they have realized that in terms of central midfield, the DM, there isn't anybody in the quality of a branch here, friend Moises Caicedo. Like I always say, Andy say, Unya come Moises Caicedo was on Sanda. And that is the kind of player Chelsea Fonica said. They believe that Moises Caicedo Sikana Orji or Chelsea Football Club, no, it's not enough. The salary of £120,000 a week, no, they think that it is too small for a branch friend Moises Caicedo, and that they want to increase the salary of a branch friend Moises Caicedo. They want to give Moises Caicedo 2 times or 3 times of what is taken. So somewhere in the region of £220,000 a week. Chelsea phone by some of them are branch friend Moises Caicedo, and they say that is what he deserves. If it's about quality of what Moises Caicedo deserves, yeah, then they should give Moises Caicedo a blank check. A blank check. Not signing on here, because that is a pure quality player in that regard. Some good news came through from Chelsea Football Club. Abrantia, your friend Esteval Willian, he did return from the little ailment, and then Hannah Anita went in Yanko away at Brentford to go and play entire game at Brentford at Chelsea Coco Ball draw. No. Esteval Willian is returning in that game. And then in the training session in the lead up to FC Bayern Munich, Namiad Mochina in Germany, Enzo Maresca in the pre-match press conference Germany at the Allianz Allianz Arena or in the pre-match press conference, first one with one player now Chelsea for the training and Abrantia Esteval Willian is in there, Cole Palmer is in there. All of those players that missed the last time are all back in it. And he said Chelsea is going to fly with a team. Medica training at 11 a.m. and then they fly to the Allianz Arena to Germany and Bavaria to go and prepare for that big one. It is going to be a crunch one. In fact, a lot of the pundits are beginning to get into the direction of Chelsea. One, it starts with our friend Julian Baleg. Now, Julian Baleg is one of those personal autobiographer. He's a friend of our friend Enzo Maresca. He did mention, say, if it's truly about, say, team all building BBDR, then on Julian Baleg, he has reported for a lot of clubs. He thinks that Chelsea are doing something exceptional. And I think I do agree with our friend Julian Baleg. I say Chelsea here some more top young players near their day to come in and then deliver but now people are beginning to accept and get the fact that Abrantia friend Enzo Maresca and Chelsea are building something monumental. They are building something really instrumental in terms of how they want to do their stuff, how they want to deliver in that regard. Almost a huge. And that's what Julian Balege can say. If it's about winning the Champions League now, in Confucian Chelsea credit about winning the Club World Cup and being the champions of Europe. As in Confucian respected Chelsea for signing Mano. But no Julian Balege, he knows that Chelsea is top in that regard. And Ojitum said Chelsea have been able to deliver in signing Maniwano, and you have to give them the credit when they are going to play in the Champions League. According to William Baleg, Chelsea are in a very, very good place to win the Champions League. If you give them a chance, they can go in there and go and win the Champions League for you. William Baleg said his money is on Chelsea if it's about listing the teams that are favorites to go on and win the Champions League. Something that it seemed to be very, very good for Enzo Maresca and Emrante in terms of winning the Champions League, preparing for the games now. And now, Harry Kane didn't come about a bench for Nicolas Jackson. Harry Kane did mention that Nicolas Jackson is a good player. He has certain qualities that makes him stand out. And Harry Kane, believes that Nicolas Jackson is going to come good. He believes that Nicolas Jackson is going to be a top player for FC Bayern Munich. And he's beginning to work with them. Nicolas Jackson has mentioned that he is excited to wait for Chelsea to play the game that they are going to play at the Allianz Arena with Chelsea Football Club. Nicolas Jackson said, Charlie, he wants to play with Chelsea. He misses his old friends. He wants to play with them at the Allianz Arena. He knows that it's not going to be an easy game for Bayern for him, but he also knows that it's not going to be an easy game for Chelsea for him, especially because almost Bayern Munich, they've been delivering. It's going to be an exciting game on Wednesday at the Allianz Arena. I'm especially given what Vincent Kompany has built. It's a free-flowing, high-pressing, intense team that Chelsea are going to play at the Allianz Arena when they go on to go and play against them. But in and around that, even away from that, it's not going to be an easy game at all for Chelsea Football Club when they're going there to go and play against Tima, your friend FC by Munich. Of course, everybody is back. Enzo Maresca, Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, you're back in the team, so prepared and they're ready to go in and go and deliver. It's interesting. So Chelsea for now are going to get almost all of their players for that big one against team your friend FC Bayern Munich. Interesting one for Chelsea Football Club when they go on and go and play against our Bayern match. I know, say a huge game, Bayern for would really want to make sure they get something out of our match, and I'm also very certain team friend Chelsea will want to go in and go and get a job. And Chelsea for there, it's going to be the first ever Champions League game for Enzo Maresca. Maresca has not coached in Europe in terms of Champions League. The first European job last season was with Chelsea, also in the Conference League. They want to make sure they go for it, and in the English Premier League, they do well. But in the Champions League is a place for Chelsea to relaunch themselves and then put themselves on a pedestal where they'll begin to deliver and let the world know, say, almost a very, very quality team. We'll see if Chelsea will be able to go into the game and then deliver and then be the team that we all expect, say, they are going to be our Chelsea Football Club on. We never sure how that game is going to be like when Chelsea go away to go and play against FC Bayern Munich or the Allianz Arena. And Reece James, Reece James did mention, say, he has dreamt of being a Chelsea captain for a very long time and winning things with Chelsea. Now, Ono Krano, he wants to be a Chelsea captain. While planning, he wants to win something bigger than just the Club World Cup as being a Chelsea captain. And he wants to make sure Sandy Manimano, he will begin to be very successful in that regard for Chelsea Football Club. I think that Reece James is going to be very successful. I think that Reece James is going to be overly successful for Chelsea Football Club. Momo being a lot of successes in how they do their things. I think that it's going to be a very, very good one for Chelsea when it comes to Reece James playing the Champions League and the success that goes on with it. Team your friend Real Madrid, I am a pre-match press conference. Madrid are playing against Marseille in a big Champions League opener at the Estadio de Santiago Bernabeu. It's going to be an interesting one for Madrid because Charlie, if you play against Football Club Real Madrid, of course, I'm about against Marseille. Marseille is being managed by coach and your friend Roberto Di Zerbi. He's not going to make it easy for Madrid for. I've said it several times here. Say, Adiabakwa Madrid for have done perfectly well as managing and then using common sense to do the job at Football Club Real Madrid, and has been heralded by coach your friend Xabi Alonso, knowing when to play Mastantuano, knowing when to play a brand your friend Federico Valverde, and also the uses of a brand your friend Arda Güler, for me has been interesting, and I think that has really pushed Madrid to the level where they want to get to. Very, very good stuff. Understanding of what really the game comes with, and then of course growing as a team together has been good. I also do think, sir, for a funny reason, it looks as if this is a season for our brand here friend Kylian Mbappe. It looks as if this is a huge season for our brand here friend Kylian Mbappe, and we'll see if Madrid will be able to go on and talk about it. Almost bizarre, Xabi Alonso about the club, Madrid and the Champions League. So Charlie, if it's about Champions League, Madrid, they are perennial and annual conversationists in the Champions League. And every time Madrid Champions League in common, you need to really put them in there in terms of the Champions League conversation. Again, Madrid if want to move away from that, and they ask him, say, player Dani Carvajal, elbow ball. What has changed with him? No, Masa. Idea back what Dani Carvajal has had throughout the time till now has been that telepathic and ding from Bobo, physicality, leadership, that competitive spirit. Now he doesn't want to lose. No, he said that is too much for Dani Carvajal, and that is why he likes to play Dani Carvajal. It doesn't mean say he won't be playing a brand here friend Trent Alexander-Arnold. He says that he wants to play Trent Alexander-Arnold. In fact, Trent has played 50% of the games under Xabi Alonso, whilst a brand here friend Dani Carvajal has played 50%. He likes Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he understands sometimes that the dueling ability of a brand here friend Dani Carvajal is important. It is important in that regard. So that is why most of the times he wants to bring in a brand here friend Dani Carvajal to come in and then come and help the team. Against Marseille, Madrid for now are going to likely score the highest number of goals in UCL competitions, 200 more goals. Kylian Mbappe has scored in every Champions League opening game he has played in, and this time is going to be at the Santiago Bernabeu. He is in red hot form. It looks as if the first pick in all of the picks that we are bringing in, Kylian Mbappe to score. Kylian Mbappe to score. Anytime goal scorer, put it in there. So I'm your friend Kylian Mbappe is going to score. If he does, that is a plus for Football Club Real Madrid. If he doesn't, it's a minus for Football Club Real Madrid. It's an interesting one for team your friend Football Club Real Madrid if they're able to go in there and then get a job done. Already 4 out of 4 in the Spanish La Liga. It looks as if in the Spanish La Liga there, Charlie, nobody looks like they are catching Real Madrid for. They are 2 points ahead of Barcelona, but it's early days yet. Last season, they were on top of the league at some point in time, ahead of Barca. But Barca navigated since, came back, and then got a job done against team friend Real Madrid. Madrid are certain, or no Zabi alongside certain, after going almost unbeaten in the for Bayern Leverkusen, our German Bundesliga. He knows for sure. Said this Madrid team is a team where he has to be very wary of. He can do a lot of things with them. I know that people are beginning to say, oh, Madrid for no crash, someone said and as a team no crash, a normal team, and ya gidi beyond Madrid for no at the year Jumano or Hormenis and I understand. Madrid is not a huge team in terms of performance as it stands now. But this is a Madrid team that everybody would have to be very wary of. One actually not underestimate you, underrate Madrid for now. It will come back to come and haunt you. It will come back to come and bite you. And if it does, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Be very careful of how you deal with Madrid when it comes to the games that are going to go on from. Of course, Arsenal against Atletico de Bilbao. Arsenal team, there are a lot of backs boys in there. There is a brand here. Jeffreno, Martin Ibanez Zubimendi, there is Mikel Merino, there is Martin Odegaard, who played also for Real Sociedad in the back region, who are the arch rivals of Team Jeffreno, Athletic Bilbao. It's a huge one at the San Mamé, but then of course there's also Mikel Arteta, who is in the dugout for Arsenal. For I think it's an Arsenal win. Arsenal have shown that their quality. Ernesto Valverde at home has had some issues, and even in European nights, has shown me that in the time where a certain easy, fluid, easy to play against Manchester United side came to the San Mamé, they didn't get a job done. I think Arsenal, at the very least, a double chance for them to go in and then go and get a job done. I think that's going to be an interesting game. In the Champions League, on Wednesday, Barcelona have won a big game. Now, and then, hey, videos have emerged of a brand here friend Lamine, Yamal, Ibanez, Nazraoui on any girlfriend. Charlie, Lamine is not playing, on any baby girl, then the picture be on the go to Instagram. Now, Lamine Yamal, near man on a girl, no, almost take a picture, see the grow. Charlie, it looks as if Nicole choose Lamine. The girl, it be like, they like Franco Mastantuano. Lamine Yamal will feel, I see on the baby boy, Lamine Yamal Ibanez Nazraoui. That is exactly who Abrantia, your friend Lamine Yamal is saying that he wants to do his things with. It is not about Abrantia friend Franco Mastantuano. It is Lamine Yamal Ibanez Nazraoui on Abrantia about our friend Nico and then Didi Kasubo Mohamed. They're trying to make sure that things will go in the right direction for them. Who have all of that conversation here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. Turn on notification, then notification turning. Do choose all, just so anytime there is content, you are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. There are lots of things for us to talk about.